What if you could disappear from the life you know, to become something entirely new? Today we're diving into the psychology behind transformation and self-reinvention. And I have a story to share, a story of a boy named Liam who mastered the art of disappearing and transforming himself so perfectly that he became unrecognizable. There are 3 steps to disappear and transformation. Step number 1 is how to disappear. Step number 2 is what to do in shadows. Step number 3 is how to reappear. We'll explain all the 3 steps in depth, and the last step is the one you should not skip, otherwise you'll regret later. Let's dive in. The first step is how to disappear. Liam was just like any other boy, ordinary, predictable, and feeling confined in a life he didn't choose. He dreamed of escaping, of shedding this version of himself that felt too familiar, too exposed, and one day he decided he would disappear, not physically, but mentally and emotionally. The first step to disappearing is understanding why you want to disappear. For Liam, it was a way to escape the pressures, the expectations, and the feeling of being trapped. He wanted to redefine himself and his purpose. Point 2, disappearing doesn't mean to cut off from society. Disappearing isn't about completely cutting yourself off from society. It's about understanding your own reasons for change and learning to protect your personal goals, intentions, and ideas from too much outside influence. For Liam, this meant sharing less with the world, but still maintaining connections with those he truly trusted. By keeping his thoughts and goals close, he created a safe space where he could grow without the noise of others' expectations. The most important thing here is to limit sharing your information. It's easy to think you need to broadcast every new insight or goal, but sometimes true transformation thrives in quiet privacy. Liam limited what he shared, choosing to reveal only what was necessary to his closest confidants. This allowed him to explore his own thoughts without feeling pressured to fit others' opinions. The question might be arising in your mind: what to do in the shadows? Now, disappearing is just the first step. The real magic happens in the shadows, where no one is watching. Liam embraced his solitude, using this time to build himself anew. Here's how he did it. Point 1, discovering passion and interests. He spent time discovering his true interests. Away from the eyes of others, he could explore his passions: music, art, philosophy, things he'd never tried before. In the quiet, he found parts of himself he never knew existed. Point 2, building a new routine. Liam created a new routine, one that focused on his growth and well-being. He set goals, practiced self-discipline, and committed to this silent transformation. His mornings became sacred moments dedicated to reflecting, growing, and working on his skills. Point 3, embracing change and uncertainty. To transform, you must embrace the unknown. Liam learned to be comfortable with uncertainty. No longer bound by the expectations of his old life, he began to embrace the thrill of not knowing what he would become. This was his time in the shadows. The final step is how to reappear. After months in the shadows, it was time for Liam to reappear, but not as the same person. He'd transformed himself into someone new, and he wanted to introduce this version to the world. Point 1, setting boundaries with the old world. Liam knew he couldn't completely erase his old life, but he could re-establish it on his terms. Setting boundaries helped him keep the old world from overpowering the new version of himself. Point 2, presenting yourself authentically. As Liam re-emerged, he showed his true self. He no longer pretended to be the person he once was. Instead, he brought forth his new interests, his refined values, and his newfound confidence. Authenticity became his armor. Point 3, continuously growing. Transformation doesn't stop when you reappear. Liam knew this was an ongoing journey. The reappearance was only a new beginning, not an end. He stayed committed to growth, knowing that reinvention is a lifelong journey. Liam's story teaches us that sometimes we must disappear to find ourselves. By stepping back, spending time in the shadows, and re-emerging with purpose, we can become the people we're meant to be. Remember, disappearing isn't about running away. It's about giving yourself the chance to transform. So, are you ready to take the first step? It's about giving yourself the chance to transform. So, are you ready to take the first step?